What's going on, everybody out there? It's your boy Majai Vernon Jai, aka Mr. Money Man, aka I do real estate, aka I'm an entrepreneur. Just out here showing y'all how we do it. How we, my company do it. What we do when we come out and say we buying properties. Just pulled up to another property we just purchased. Actually, we purchased this property. I want to say February. Maybe even right at the beginning of March, we purchased this particular property and got it from one of the wholesale companies out here in our local area. Pretty much nationwide, I believe. They got locations set up everywhere. But one of my main guys, I stay on top of, always, hitting them up for deals, checking in with them on a regular basis. And just do my normal follow-up. What's going on, everybody? Sorry about that, man. I'm trying to get my Instagram stuff here floating along with everything else. Let's see here. Yeah, I gotta excuse me, man. Anyway, I'm just gonna continue from YouTube, but this was a property that, like I say, reached out to my guy on a regular. So just so happened when I reached out to him, he had this particular property. Let me show you. We got one of our signs in the yard. We just put in the yard right here. But needless to say, this property is already sold. But reached out to my guy, in a matter of I think we had a couple little scheduling issues. We had to meet the seller. Just due to them not actually living in the property, it took us a while to coordinate the showing. I think it may have took a day or two, but came out. And what's quite funny is this was a property that I had target marketed through one of our mail campaigns probably a year ago. So I already had seen the property, knew they weren't living in it. So when he sent me the address, it was kind of a no-brainer. Just so happened I was actually lower when I actually looked at the property a year ago, but still was something that we was interested in, and until we got back in and checked the property out. Really wasn't for sure, but needless to say, came out, knew the property, kind of knew the situation about the property as far as the seller situation, what they were looking to do, and pretty much a lot about the property condition. So when he sent it to me, came out here, met up with the sellers. They was a little bit thrilled to see me again for the second time, knowing that I've already seen the property. And one thing about me, I'm pretty. Look, man, you send me a deal. I'm not one of these guys in the industry. You got to just build that trust with people. But I'm not one of those guys that come in, try to screw you out of your deal, and all the scandalous things that happen in this industry, needless to say, unfortunately. But, so they was like, hey, man, what's going on? Yeah, I remember you, such and such, yeah, I remember the price you gave us too, so, but they knew me, and, came in, looked at the property, and I didn't even really have to walk it that much. I just wanted to verify that everything in the house hadn't burned down or anything like that. So came in, talked to them for a little bit, and I was in and out. And needless to say, we picked this property up, I believe, 50, I would say mid-50s. Not any specifics, we do utilize private financing, so we got some little, closing costs and things like that. But I would want to say in the 50s. At the end of the day, contract was in the mid-50s. My initial offer to the sellers when I first came to the property, I think I might have threw them a 30 or something like that, something crazy. And Actually, my sales manager Phoebe was actually out here with me when we walked the property for the first time with the original seller, and she said she almost gagged when I threw that such low offer. And that just lets you know what she thought about the property relative to what I offered them. You know, and it wasn't me just trying to take advantage of the situation. Just you know, hey, you know, sticking to the formula. But we ended up locking the property up, getting it under contract from, you know, like I say, my associate, you know, my partner, and you know, tied the property up, went to closing, and we closed on this property. Let's see, maybe I can just pull it up. I want to say we closed on this property in, it either had to be the end of February or the first week or so of March. It was one of the first properties I purchased in the month of March, I believe. And I think it took us a time before we actually did anything with the property. I think the property set maybe 2 weeks or so before we actually even got our guys. There was a little bit of stuff still left in the property, but you know, I just want to see, you know, it's 2-story. You know, that's downstairs. You know, one of the bedrooms, upstairs bedrooms, and this is the art of real estate and just what how crazy the market is right now. You know, we got a full bath up here. You know, look guys, you see this property, we haven't even been swept out yet. But you know, kind of just showing you the condition of the property. You know, haven't done anything literally to this property. And we have a couple of items of furniture, you know, things like couches or something like that. But we came in and took out all the big items. Look, we still got a couple things still left behind. I mean, we literally done nothing to this property. And remind you, I said we picked this property up in the mid-50s. Closing costs, everything, and we're probably into the 60, lower 60 range. And through this property on the MLS, without doing anything to it, I believe we put it on MLS at 89 now, something like that, 89,000. Show you a little bit of the backyard. 89,000, and we listed it on a Thursday, maybe even a Thursday of last week. I want to say it's haven't even been a full week yet. We got like 5 offers, 2 or 3 of them over list price, well into the 90s. We actually was executing the acceptance contract for like 93 grand, and we hadn't even touched this property. And it was conventional financing, which we was like, man, do we really have to do some? Do we need to do some repairs to it? Because we were willing to actually, we were going to test it like we normally do with any of our properties. Test it, see what type of response we get, and you know, then if we needed to, you know, we come in and do repairs. You know, typically that's how we like to do our properties. Give it a test shot first if we get some offers, and then we'll come back in and do repairs if you know we don't get any bites. But like I say, literally within the first 2-3 days, over list price offers. We was actually going to accept one. You know, our sales lady Phoebe called and was just like, hey, you know, before you execute it, we got another offer coming in. Needless to say, it was still full price, cash offer, and this was offer we executed, quick closing. Then we go to closing next Friday, before the end of the month, 20 something. But that's the power of real estate. What networking can do. If I hadn't reached out to my partner, my homie, my my contact in the real estate industry, this was a deal that literally probably would have been overlooked. I hadn't followed up with the seller, and that's another key thing that I've always preached, follow up. But this literally came from me reaching out, seeing what they had available, and going back through it, and at the end of the day, this property will literally make, can we fix it up? Probably, we probably end up putting 25 grand into this house. Might could end up selling it maybe for 130, 140, maybe 130. The ARV wasn't just too high. I think, it was really no comps justifying 140, but I thought, it was probably still just the way the market's going, $125,000-$130,000 property once it was fixed up. Probably, like I say, would need anywhere from 20, about 25 grand in repairs. But like I say, we literally made that without even touching this property. So picked it up in less than a month, full price offer, even had some over list price. And that's just the way the market's going. So get out there, if you want to, link up with somebody who's actually out here doing real estate. I'm looking for that person. No, I don't have a step-by-step method of, what these big gurus do. And, all I have is applicable methods or, actual things that I do on a regular basis that I would say nets me, gets me these type of deals. So, and a lot of it comes through networking, but it's also other things. But if you're looking for someone who can reach out to you, real advice, real methods, real solutions, then go to my Instagram, go to my Facebook, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, like, comment, comment job, hey, I want to work with you, let me know, reach out to me, I'm just an average person, came from not knowing anything about real estate, less than 10 years ago to actually probably doing well over 50, 60, 70 deals a year, through either wholesaling, fix and flips, rehabs, and that's just what we do. So if you want to work with someone who is looking to show you how we do it, hit me up. It's your boy, Majah Vernon, J.A.K., Mr. Money Man, a.k.a. I do real estate, a.k.a. I'm an entrepreneur, y'all. It's a, little gloomy Tuesday out here before work. This is another deal that's bagged and booked, on and off the market in less than 7 days. Another one bites the dust. We're not counting our chickens before they hatch, but we got plenty of bag ups to where we know it's a sure thing. So, like I say, if you want to get with a winning team, hit me up. Subscribe to my YouTube. Hit me up on Instagram, Majah Vernon, Facebook, Majah Vernon, Snapchat, Majah Vernon, Twitter. And I look forward to working with y'all, man. All I can do is give you the little insight I got. Hopefully I can pick up the house across the street. It look vacant. Right next door look vacant. So, And if you're a homeowner looking to sell a property, you can go there. That's my contact information. Sell fast for cash. DFW.com. We buy houses. All cash, baby. Majai Vernon signing out. Peace.